What's up, baseball family? Welcome to the Thursday Night Live. I am Brig, and I'm going to be driving this boat this fine evening. We're going to get through it as quickly as possible with my main man, Brad. He's right there. How are you, Brad?
Doing well, Brig. Thank you.
Outstanding. The Phillies are currently in the middle of playing the Braves, and we need to get back to watching it, and so do you. So we're going to try and clip through this at a certain consistent pace. How do you feel about that,
At a
Mr.
medium pace. At a medium
Yeah.
pace. Let's do.
But consistent. I don't want to rush, but I do want to make sure we get back to watching baseball.
Right.
All right, first things first, baseball family. Sports betting is rapidly growing in popularity, and we want to connect you with all the best opportunities to get started or to get ahead. Having multiple sportsbook accounts is the simplest way to maximize all of your profits, and there's never been a better time to sign up. When you visit our page, which is at signupexpert.com/baseball, you'll be connected to all sports books in your region, along with a review of each platform and its unique benefits. All of the sports books have valuable sign-up offers, especially for new users. And when you register through the Baseball Together link, you will automatically receive the top offer for each sports book. When you use multiple sports books, you then further ensure that you can always access the best available odds, which is key to successful betting, as Brad has taught us this season. If you want to take advantage of these benefits and support the show, sign up for your next sports book at signupexpert.com/baseball. As always, there's a link in the episode description. All right, let's talk about the division series. We're going to recap some of these because they're basically done, almost.
Pretty much. Yeah. All but.
3 of 4. Yeah, all but. Okay, so the Rangers swept the Orioles. Yep, we need to give
Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you saw that coming. By the way, sit on your hands because you're all lying.
You liar. Yeah.
Maybe you saw the Rangers winning, but you did not see a sweep.
No, nobody did. It was bizarre. I mean, I'm still reeling a little bit from how bad the AL East as a whole has performed this last stretch and through into the playoffs.
Not a single win in the playoffs.
Makes no sense to me. Zero. The AL West, however, is all showing up all over the place, and it's
so funny because the AL West, like it seemed like nobody wanted to win it in September, right? It's like well, Texas, you've got okay, Houston, Seattle, well, okay, nobody wants to win this division, and maybe Brig, nobody wanted a bye.
That's what I'm starting.
And it was like towing that really, really delicate line between not winning the division but not making the playoffs. And I know, like, I don't think that was the case with Seattle. I think it was just anyway. But I think that Houston and Texas were kind of playing chess there for a little bit there at the end of the season.
You think that Bochy and Baker were looking at it and going, all right, now hang on.
I don't think I don't know. I don't think Baker would, because that team's really, really good, as we've seen, right? Like, they have their warts, like we talked about, but they do such a great job of covering those up.
They do,
right?
They definitely do.
And I think, I don't know, and I don't know if Texas was like experimenting with other ways to win games besides home runs, and they're just like, can't do it. Got to hit dingers, right? Start swinging with the fence again, fellas, because this is how it's going to happen.
Somebody call Corey.
Corey hit homers. Did you? So I don't know if I've talked about this here, Brig, but have you noticed that Corey Seager has been using? I don't know if it made it through the division series or not, but I swear that dude has been using the exact same bat for like half the season.
No, I didn't.
And you can tell, and I don't know if it's the way he gets his bats ready, if they all have, but there's like a stripe of wear up on the barrel.
Yeah.
And it's been that same bat for weeks, if like months.
Whoa.
So next time you watch the Rangers when Corey Seager bats, look at this bat. This bat has been to hell and back. It is super beat up. And there's no way it's a new bat. He hasn't broken a bat in months.
Makes you wonder if he's doing work on the tee or in the cage or anything like that with a different bat, same model but a different bat, and then he works into the games with the same one. That I can see.
Yeah, I think this is his. I think it's his gamer, and a lot of guys will do that. They'll have their gamer, and they'll have separate bats they use during BP and stuff. Like some guys will even use a corked bat when there's people in the stadium for spring or for a batting practice just to put on a show, you know. Yeah. But no, that like blows my mind that he has not in a game broken this bat.
We saw a broken bat in the game tonight, so it split all the way. I mean, it was as clean. In half the length of the bat, split right down the middle.
Turned it into a cricket bat.
Yeah, it was a cricket bat. Anyway, so during the Rangers-Orioles series, Nate Eovaldi basically shut the Orioles down in Game 3. It looked like they just rolled over. They didn't even whimper, as Brad has been saying, which I think is a very appropriate definition. Nate Eovaldi, 7 innings pitched, 5 hits, only 5 hits, 1 earned run is all. He didn't give up a single walk, and he struck out 7. That's just in Game 3. So, I mean, overall, the Rangers outscored the Orioles 21-11. That's across the whole series.
Yeah, there's because the only thing is that Game 2 where we're like, hey, the O's should be excited about putting up 8, but how do you feel about giving up 11? You know?
Yeah, exactly.
There was that whole thing, and that's really where they scored all their runs in the series.
Yeah. All of them.
Yeah. And the thing that I think is crazy is that they only led for a third of an inning. Third of an inning the entire series. They got the lead with 2 outs in 1 inning, and then they gave it up the very next inning.
So I know that Orioles fans are depressed by this information, and I can't blame them. Rangers fans are very excited about this information. I can't blame them. But where do you think the remainder of the fan base falls? Baseball dumb.
Honestly, if I was an Orioles fan, I wouldn't be upset about this at all. You had a great year. You outperformed management, and you made it. You got the number 1 seed in the American League, and yeah, you laid an egg in the division series, but the Braves kind of have so far, and at least you're only outscored by 10. You're not the Dodgers.
Oh
right?
Man, no kidding.
So you had a better series than some teams, right?
Yeah.
And you had a great season. Build on it. You should have a ton of confidence going into next season because pretty much everybody's coming back, right?
No doubt. That is a young
team. And that's the first time they've been swept in 93 series since Adley Rutschman got called up.
Dang.
So be proud of that team.
And I think, especially because I think I saw this, and then we'll move on. The average age on the Orioles team, did you see this?
I didn't.
The average age on the Orioles team is 6.5. It's awesome.
I actually was pulling up Baseball Reference, like, oh man, this is crazy. 6.5. Yeah, you're right. That's what it says. That's the average age of that team, 6.5.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move on.
Plus 21 point, or plus about 21.
Yeah, 21. That makes sense. All right. Speaking of sadness, okay, the Diamondbacks swept the Dodgers. Now, sad if you're a Dodgers fan. Great if you're a D-backs fan.
Question for you, Brig. I'm curious if I am as sick of this team as Dodger fans are.
Or are Dodger fans now as sick of the team as we are?
They've got to be.
They've got to be, because I'm sick and tired. For those of you who
don't know, there's going to be some context coming up here. But man, I just rip it to shreds, man.
I can't. At this point, we were ready to eat our hat. We were like, all right, sorry. We called for a destruction of the entire system.
No, so this is the thing, Brig, is I said they still need to tear it down. But they're playing well right now.
I'm just saying, they won 100 games. They made it to the bye. They earned the bye week, etc. And I was like, this is. I was wrong. I'm willing to admit that I didn't see this the right way.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm wondering, maybe I ought to take some of that back.
Retract that statement.
Don't worry. We'll get to how wrong I was in a minute. Because there's more Briggs screwed up in a minute. But the Diamondbacks did sweep the Dodgers. That like the sentence makes no sense given the paper matchup, right? If you were to
scored
put
them
them down
19
on
to
paper,
6.
Jeez, 19 to 6. Okay, the D-backs never trailed. The games were only tied for a total of 15 outs across the
That's it.
series.
That includes top inning, top half, bottom half.
That's right.
So
15.
what's that? 2.5 innings.
Yeah. The D-backs didn't score until the fourth inning of Game 3, by the way, and then scored before recording it out in Games 1 and 2. In the fourth inning of Game 3, the Diamondbacks became the first team in Major League Baseball postseason history to hit 4 homers in 1 inning. Put that in your history books because that doesn't even make sense. By the way, if you are here with us watching, the Braves just went up 1-0 in Philly. Okay. So the Dodgers had possession of first place for 134 days. And that had a lot to do with July and August, obviously. But then in the postseason, Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman, the two of the guys you'd expect to show up at all, didn't. They didn't even arrive at the ballpark.
They forgot.
They went 1 for 21 between the two of them at the plate. 1 for 21, Brad.
That one was an infield hit, like borderline error.
It's just I
don't understand how your two best players can just like completely disappear. Just entirely gone.
No, they were relying on Kike Hernandez and JD Martinez to pull weight.
Kike Hernandez and Chris Taylor were the major threats in Game 3 for the Dodgers.
I know.
Like those were the two guys who came up to the plate, and it's like, okay, they got runners in scoring position. Like this could really get interesting. They played at a couple guys, and then after that, I was like, okay, don't worry about it. And like nobody's gonna do anything.
After that is fine.
You know, it's done.
Mookie Betts was asked if the current playoff format was flawed because of the bye weeks. And that's the question we all want answers to. Okay. We're all grappling with that at this point. That is the narrative that the rest of the baseball world will take through this postseason. It just is. But his reply, at least at the end of that series, was no comment, which is a very tactful way to remain neutral when there is no neutrality in that comment.
I was going to say it's a very tactful way of saying, yes, it is flawed. Yeah. We need to make a change without making anybody
I'm not allowed
angry.
to say that.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah.
I guess not making anybody ever get in trouble. There we go.
Dodger pitching got depleted early. Super duh. I mean, when your starters can't hang, what are you going to expect? They were spent by the time they reached the postseason.
So there's something that was funny that happened. Like, so in Game 1, starting pitcher didn't make it out of the first inning. Mm-hmm. In Game 2, the starting pitcher didn't make it out of the second inning. In Game 3, you guessed it, didn't make it out of the third inning. Into kind of a funny little trend that went on there.
That is a funny trend. The Dodgers have won 317 over the last 3 seasons and never made it to the World Series. This is the most all-time, Brad. This is the most all-time over a three-season span for a team to win that much and not make it to the World Series. It's just ridiculous.
And this is one thing to think about with that too, Brig, is that like over the last 30-ish years, since they've made the division series permanent, right after the strike in '94, it's harder to get to the World Series than it used to be. Like, granted, you had to be better than everybody in your division, right? If you're in the East or the West or whatever, to get to the League Championship Series and then to go to the World Series. But at the same time, though, the teams that won their division and went to the League Championship Series, it was just that one round. You just got to worry about playing the best team in the other division. You win that, you go to the World Series, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But now they've got more rounds to deal with. They've got to deal with the division round. They've got to deal with a team that's got momentum and has been playing through the wild card round now. And so it really is interesting to look at a team that's won that many times, because during that 3-year span, they've gotten eliminated in the division round twice. Last year, they only won one game against the Padres, and then 2 years ago, they got eliminated in the league championship series.
Right.
So, and I do think it does speak to the fact that these teams making it to the playoffs, it's a lot more even than it used to be too.
Well, one would hope.
It feels
certainly
like it.
shows that is the evidence presenting itself.
Mhm.
I'd say.
Yeah.
Um,
Because last
I
year you
mean,
had 2 wild card teams in the World Series.
That's right. And if the Diamondbacks can do what they've done over the
I
last
guess
5 years,
sorry, the Astros won their division. I'm sorry. I was thinking the
Yeah.
Padres
Oh,
won. But
that's
anyway,
true.
in the NLCS you had 2 wild card teams.
That's true. Thank you for correcting yourself, Brad. Now I'm not the only one. Anyway, we've already addressed this, but baseball family, we want to know from you, should the Dodgers tear it down and start fresh, or will this team eventually break through and win another World Series? Let us know in the comments and tell us what you think, because this is a burning question that we kick around all the time. All right, let's move on. This is the one we have the least to say about, so we're just going to cook through this. The Astros beat the Twins 3-1. I thought the Twins had more to show us, but apparently they did show us in the division series, or in the wild card round, rather. They got to the division series. They got spanked.
Which is funny because so far, like, they were the only team of these 3 series. They were the only losing team to win a game.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and it looked like they were going to be competitive, but that was like it. That was all they had.
That was just the one game. I know, and it was a great showing. It was great. And we always say you just got to break even away, and then you got to come home. They only needed one in Houston, but apparently it just wasn't any good enough. It just wasn't going to be good enough. So I don't know what the deal is. Daryl's with us. He says LA needs a fire sale. Just burn it down. That's what I say. I agree with you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Brad feels the mem shows, which is French for same. Okay.
The same. This is the thing that's crazy, though. Yeah, go ahead, Brig.
The Astros are headed to their 7th straight ALCS. Let me say that again. The Astros are headed to their 7th straight American League Championship Series. Not 7th total, not 7th in this decade, 7th in a row.
Yeah,
they're the first team to ever do that.
And not just the ALCS, the Championship Series altogether. ALCS, NLCS. That's nuts. Like, you had Murderers Row, Brig.
Yeah,
didn't do it. The Braves in the
90s.
The Braves in the 90s were broken up because of the strike.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they still didn't do it.
Neither did the Yankees in the 90s and 2000s. It didn't happen.
Right. Yeah.
So take that. Okay, the Phillies are now up on the Braves.
Hold on, Brig. I have one question I want to ask, though.
Oh, yeah.
I want to bring up the D word. With their seventh straight ALCS appearance, is it time to start calling the Houston Astros a dynasty? That's what I want to know. Is it time to bring out the D word, or do they need to win a World Series?
You got to win a World Series.
Because that'd be 3 in what's that, 7 years?
Yeah. Are we gonna subtract the 1 though?
I mean, it's still there. So
yeah,
2 in 2 years isn't a dynasty, but I think 3 and 7 would be.
3 and 7's.
But and that's the other thing too, is they would be if they win it this year, and at this point I don't see anybody who can beat them. Unfortunately,
Philly could.
Maybe
if Philly keeps playing the way they're playing, they could beat the Astros.
They just got to get angry, and then they'll beat them. They'll mop the floor with them.
Just Framber Valdez just needs to say something about it being too loud. By the way, the Phillies have just tied the game. It's the end of the 4th. It's now 1-1.
Of course they did. Because that's the way the series has gone with them.
Yeah,
the Braves just cannot get any momentum.
Speaking of the Phillies are up 2-1. Game 4 is happening right now. Game 2 was crazy. It was the ending of Game 2 was 8-5-3 double play. I don't know if that's the first time we've ever seen it.
The classic 8-5
It's probably
play.
Dude, it was. I don't care who you are. Even if you're a Braves fan and you're super upset, you at least have to I don't care which side of the contest you're on. Let me just say that. You have to appreciate just the majesty of that
how that
instant
unfolded.
classic
I was
double
just
play.
thinking we should make a Braves colored 8-5-3, 8 plus 5 plus 3 equals 2, like that baseballism shirt. Put it in Braves color.
We should. That's a great idea.
That'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah. I like
But
that.
the thing that's crazy is a lot of people are beating up Bryce Harper about it. And like, don't get me wrong, it was absolutely a mistake. He should not have been around on the other side of second base, right?
Totally.
Because strategy and fundamentals and everything dictates that at the very most he's standing on second base, right?
Yeah.
But this is the thing: how far did Michael Harris have to run to make that play? Dude ran a country mile to get that ball.
He did.
And I do not blame Bryce Harper for one bit. Be like, no chance. That ball's
No.
off the wall. I'm scoring and tying the game, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And the other thing was, it took Austin Riley, who said, I was yelling for everybody to throw the ball to first base, yelling and jumping. Did you see that?
Yeah.
And he said his momentum from that is what put him in place with the ball. It was not a Derek Jeter incident where he's like,
he's like, I know where I'm supposed to be 3 years in advance. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
No, it was he happened to be in the right place at the right time because he screamed his lungs out to get the ball to first base.
Yeah.
And he made a perfect throw to get Bryce Harper, who was barely out.
It was very close.
So if that throw is a little bit offline and pulls Olsen off the bag, or Austin Riley is like 3 feet deeper in the infield, and Harper's standing on first base and they have another shot and nobody's talking about it. Right? Like everything had to unfold perfectly for that play to end the way that it did. And I think Bryce Harper was just flat out like, that was a crazy play. Like
he's got to have gone back like, dang it, I that's on me, and also holy cow, mad respect.
yeah, for everybody to be in the right place and make perfect throws because Ozzy Albies did not make the play, and was it Arcia, the other guy that got past? There's a reason it got the Austin Riley to begin with, because nobody else could field the ball.
It could have been a big problem.
It could.
But he was in the right place. Did you see the StatCast little image of him bouncing?
Like the animation.
The animation one, yeah.
Yeah, and my thing is like, why don't we have that in Pixar animation yet? Like,
that's
what's going on here,
you're
Pixar?
so right. You're so right.
Or MLB The Show, one of those two. Somebody animate that.
I agree with you.
And recreate it for us.
So after this happened, Orlando Arcia was heard by reporters in the clubhouse saying, "Attaboy, Harper." Now this has fallen under speculation. The
Braves confirmed it yesterday after the game.
Okay, but that's interesting because even today, yesterday and today, the whole media is being apologetic. They're all coming back saying, I was out of context and it didn't. But then it comes out and says, yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah, Travis d'Arnaud confirmed it, and
I
think
know
Garcia did too. Like this is the thing, is that and David Sampson talked about this today on his show. He said every Major League Baseball player knows that if the media is in the clubhouse, nothing is off the record. He said you have 10 minutes before the media is allowed to come into the clubhouse. And you can yell and scream and destroy property. You can do whatever you want during that time, and they will not know because we will not tell. Because, like Travis d'Arnaud said, the clubhouse is a sanctuary. However, reporters do not adhere to clubhouse etiquette because their job is to tell what's going on in the clubhouse, what they see, right?
That's right.
So, yes, the clubhouse is a sanctuary. Absolutely. I believe in that. I totally believe in clubhouse etiquette, locker room etiquette, all that, right?
Yep.
But that doesn't apply to the reporters because that's not their job. So you've got to understand, you've got to know the situation. You've got to know that these guys are in here. If they hear me say something, they're gonna spread the word. And whether it's in context or out of context, it doesn't matter. They're gonna tell people what they heard.
Yep. I just think it was funny that there's a bunch of media coming around, especially broadcasters, who were saying it was taken out of context. Everybody calm down or whatever. He didn't mean that. And I was like, yes, he did.
He did.
He did
Yeah.
say that though.
He was riding
Anyway,
high. Absolutely, he did. They
course.
were expecting that to be what turned the tables on the series and got them going, but instead it just fueled his hate fire. And Harper hit 2 bombs, Castellanos hit 2 bombs, and that's how that
Oh,
went.
man.
It set a new record of
It-
6 home runs.
It
So-
went. All the balls went. They just all kept going. They haven't stopped going. We're going to give you a little more of an in-depth analysis of the series, depending on how it ends and when, on our next show. That will be Tuesday morning. But one thing I did want to bring up, if you're watching the game right now, and you may be baffled by some of the signage you see in the stands about Spencer Strider and it being too loud and some of the jokes, like the joke I made earlier. Here's what happened. Spencer Strider was asked a handful of questions. And in that conversation, just to summarize, I'll just quote him. He said, "There should be no fans. 2020 season, no fans. Get rid of the fans. It's too loud. Everybody be quiet. We don't need the cheering. We know you're watching. I don't need the fans." Okay, so I'm going to pause. There's more, but I'm going to pause and say that if you are a major league athlete, if you're a professional athlete, and you tell the people watching you with either adoration or ire that you don't need them, that's bad. Okay, in case you're
Don't tell the
wondering.
paying customers to not come through the door.
That's bad. That's bad. Okay, anyway, he continues. Stay outside the stadium. Back it up. Like he said, let's do like a no lower bowl thing. Upper decks, great. Outfield, phenomenal. But we don't need you around the bullpen. Just try to be quiet. So he takes the mound tonight in Philly, of all places, in the playoffs. It's Red October in Philly, and Spencer Strider tell everybody to be quiet, and then he showed up, and they have taken it to a whole new level.
Oh, I'm sure they have. But
They're louder than ever.
You know what though, is that like I don't think he was serious. Because the question was, what would you change about baseball? And he went straight into that. Just like,
yeah.
I think he was being facetious. I don't think the crowd noise bothers him. I don't think he hates the fans. Like, because I was laughing as he was saying it, assuming it was a joke. I'm like, man, that's hilarious. That's a really good one. Now, if he was being serious, then
I didn't. If he was being facetious, I couldn't tell.
And see, I don't know. I think
maybe that's me.
I think I spent enough time around people who were just like deadpan, just like,
yeah,
you know, that you see it a lot with guys like Joey Votto is really good at it.
He's yeah, but you know he's joking,
right?
There are enough people did not know Spencer Strider was joking. That's the problem,
and probably was, like, honestly,
he probably was.
And maybe what it was, maybe it was reverse psychology on the Philly fans, because what's his line tonight? Like, what are his stats? He's with all noise, he's 5 hits, 1 run, 5 Ks, a walk. And that 1 run was off a homer by who hit that? Castellanos. That dude's on a tear. You can't stop him when he gets hot.
No,
so
you can't.
No, I don't think the noise bothers him. I don't think he hates it. I think he annoyed when he's thrown in the bullpen before the game? Absolutely. Who would not be, right?
Totally.
But
yes.
Yeah, no, I don't think he's being serious.
All right, baseball family, we are always asking what you think about the topics we bring up on the show. We've done it a couple of times tonight. We genuinely want to know how you feel. But now we've got a quick and easy way for you to share your thoughts with us. We've partnered with VersusGame to bring you the games, games. We've partnered with VersusGames. We're bringing you games, okay? And we're going to give you a chance to make some money with these games as well. You participate in polls, trivia, and predictions. And that's right. If you're on the winning side of a poll, or you get a trivia question right, or a prediction question that we pose, if you get it right, you can win real money and other prizes. You can also play
games, wins of prizes. Yeah.
Yeah. You you can play for free, or you can buy ticket bundles. That gives you a chance to win more faster. More fasterer is the scientific term. You can play against
Win more, faster. My bad, Brig.
No, it should be more fasterer.
Okay,
You can win more the mostest winning fasterest.
Okay.
By buying the ticket bundles. Okay. You can play with us, listeners of this show and other Versus Game users. So the way you do all this I'm talking about is you head over to btpod.onversus.com on your mobile browser. You sign up. You can play our polls and trivia. That's btpod.onversus.com. Sign up to play Versus Game with us. We have a couple of polls up right now. So
yeah, we're gonna have a couple up from tonight. The one about the Dodgers and the one about the Astros.
Yeah,
will be going up tomorrow.
Brad, hit us with
Friday.
A brief championship series preview.
Okay, it's interesting. It's an AL West championship series. Fascinating, by the way. Like I can't believe that's what it's come down to. Rangers and the Astros. For those of you not sure or losing track. So the Astros actually won the head-to-head season series this year. They won 9-4, and that didn't all just come at the end of the season. It came throughout. It came at the beginning of the year when the Astros were struggling. It came before they found their stride. And then it certainly came at the end of the season. But the Astros took that series from them, and the thing that's crazy is that, like, so we were talking a lot about potential tiebreakers in the AL West right at the end of the season, and it was like, okay, the Astros have the season tiebreaker over the Rangers have the season tiebreaker over the Mariners, and the Mariners had the season tiebreaker over the Astros, right? So it was like, how do you figure this? But
I still
don't
understand.
But so this is the thing that's interesting, is that sports are all about matchups. You cannot say A is greater than B, B is greater than C, therefore A is greater than C. That's not how it works. Right. That's not how sports work. So I think we're going to have a great series. It's a battle of two teams with not great bullpens. Mm-hmm. I do think the Astros bullpen is a little bit better, and I think that the way they structured it is a little bit better. But Bruce Bochy has gotten really creative and worked with that bullpen and managed to shut down the Orioles. So it'll be fascinating to see how these two, like, strategic masters, right?
Yeah,
old time baseball, managing new school baseball. It's going to be fascinating. It's going to be really fun to watch, I think.
That's great.
I'm curious, Brig. Which team do you think has the edge here in pitching? I mean, their starting rotations are both just so good,
incredible. I don't know. The simple answer is I don't know, because every time I watch Ryan Presley, I think, oh my word, what is anybody supposed to do with Presley?
Well, so that's the thing that's funny, is that there were times this year that I was like, Presley would come in as like, sweet, this game's over, they're gonna lose.
Yeah, right? But in this postseason, it's back to Presley. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
Bottom of fifth, Phillies just went up 2-1. Okay,
there you go. So I do think, though, I think the Astros are going back to the World Series.
I mean, I want the Rangers to advance, but I don't know if they have what it takes.
You know who I'm cheering for in this series, Brig? The Asteroid. The Asteroid. Yeah. Yeah, because then it's like, well, the Orioles had the better regular season record, so they're going to go to the World Series instead.
We can't. That's not going to happen, because then we lose Joey Votto. We can't afford that.
If the Asteroid comes and hits, if it hits Minute Maid Park, Joey Votto's fine.
But the aliens will have brought the Asteroid, and they'll take him.
Is that how that's going to work?
That's the whole problem.
You're right.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah. But the Reds wouldn't have won the World Series, so.
The what?
Maybe he wouldn't. I said, but then the Reds wouldn't have won the World Series, so maybe he wouldn't go with them.
That's true. His prediction would have fallen short there.
Yeah.
Does that mean he has less value in the eyes of the alien community
because he's not a World Series champion?
Yeah.
It has to.
Makes sense. Baseball family,
maybe what it is when the Orioles go to the World Series, then they win, and then Adley Rutschman goes with the aliens, because they're like, this dude. He's our new captain. Yeah,
we need his goatee on this. Yeah. I almost said something. I'm going to not say that. But anyway, very good. The end. Baseball family, everything is in full swing right now. Playoff baseball is here. It's where it's at. Let me pull up the schedule really quick just so we know when the ALCS starts. I believe it is Sunday, October 15th at 8:15 p.m. It will be in Houston.
There you
to
go.
start the series. And game 2, Monday the 16th. And then this Tuesday is the travel day, and they go back to Texas, to Arlington, rather.
Yeah, so and that series it's 2-3-2. So they'll play 2 in
Yeah.
Houston, 2 in Arlington, 2 in Houston is the way they do those now. So
Yeah. So
Good.
it'll be really interesting.
it'll be fun. It'll be an exciting series. I am gonna watch it. At first, I was like, I'm not watching that. I'm gonna watch it, Brig.
Yeah, you are.
Postseason baseball. Of course I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, of course you are.
But baseball family, don't forget to like, subscribe, rate, and review the show. Let us know what you think about what we're doing. Jump on VersusGame, participate in the polls and stuff that we're going to have up there for you over the weekend, over the next couple weeks. They'll still be there. And we actually have one there right now as well. Who you think, like which league you think the World Series representative will be from. But anyway, like, subscribe, rate, and review wherever you can. Subscribe on the YouTube machine. That helps us out more than you know. And baseball family, we will catch you at the big show next week.